As we continue exploring the discipleship pathway here at New Beginnings Church, I want to move us into stage 4. Now, last week, I introduced stage 3 of the discipleship pathway, so I want to take a few minutes to recap where we've been and help us see how we move forward. And as a reminder, you'll be able to find all these videos as they've been released on our New Beginnings Church YouTube channel. Now, the discipleship pathway that I'm calling the River is both a spiritual map and a ministry strategy. It helps us as a church body answer 3 simple questions. Where am I? Where am I going? And how will the church walk with me along the way? It should provide us with a shared language, a shared vision, and shared movement together, because discipleship isn't a siloed task, it is a journey that we take together. We began with stage 1, the first drink, evangelism and conversion. That's where someone encounters the gospel and experiences new life in Christ. Then comes stage 2, wading in. This is where visitors and community members begin stepping into church life. They test the water, they attend services, and they make connections. They begin to experience authentic fellowship, and the goal here is clear on-ramps, helping people move from the community to connection with our church in intentional ways. Last week, we focused on stage 3, finding your flow. This is where belonging becomes more of a rhythm and a pattern. Regular attenders begin to grow deeper roots. They learn the heartbeat of New Beginnings, our mission, our beliefs, our culture. They connect through 242 life groups, men's and women's ministries, and community settings, and they participate in the New Beginners class. Stage 3 is about developing those consistent patterns and habits of worship, fellowship, and prayer and service. It's where someone stops just visiting and begins to belong to the church family. Now the question becomes, how do we cross the bridge into stage 4? Because each stage is marked by bridges so that you can pinpoint where you're at in the discipleship pathway. According to our pathway, the movement into stage 4 happens when attendance becomes a commitment. A person is ready for stage 4 when they've completed the New Beginners class, participated in a communion service, and tried one or more of our community group settings. In other words, they've explored enough of our church life to be able to say, "This is my church family." Stage 4 is called Join the Current. Here, disciples do not just attend church services. They flow with the body, they serve regularly, they give faithfully in some form, they participate beyond just Sunday mornings, and they begin using their spiritual gifts in meaningful ways. This might look like serving in the children's ministry, greeting, helping with the media, building and grounds, music, Awana, or youth, consistent participation in line with how God has gifted and called them. Stage 4 is intentional participation. It's beginning to share responsibility and it's ownership. So how does someone navigate stage 4? Well, first they're ready to ask, where has God gifted me? And they begin to explore ministry opportunities in non-leadership roles. And they commit to regular spiritual disciplines corporately. Now, up till now, I've assumed that this person has been growing in their personal spiritual disciplines. But if that's not the case, you'll never make it to stage 4, at least not in a healthy manner. Because we have to have our personal spiritual disciplines in line first. Regular communion with the Lord through His Word and through prayer and with others. Out of that will flow corporate worship, devotion, and habits. And in stage 4, it's where someone plugs into that and begins to not just attend worship services at a church, but begin to belong to a church family. And it's important to remember, this stage can become stagnant if it's not intentional. The goal is not comfortable attendance. The goal is engaged participation. Stage 4 is the really great stage, but it also comes with some extra considerations and some extra warnings. Stage 4 can tend towards stagnancy and really unhelpful contentment. Sometimes questions that never receive answers become festering wounds, or sometimes sitting in a pew synthesizes church life without the actual commitment, and that is a very real danger. If this stage takes someone longer than 2 years, there is a log jam somewhere. And hopefully, having a discipleship pathway helps us to look at these things objectively and be able to take stock of them, both as church leaders as we try to look at the health of the congregation, but also each person personally as they evaluate where they're at in their growing discipleship. If they notice that they've spent way too long in one stage, or they have something where there's no clarity or they don't understand it, they can ask for help and they know exactly where they need help and what might be blocking them from moving into the next stage.